Hi, this is Matt with the Intergalactic Herald. Welcome to my Star Atlas Week in Review podcast. This is podcast number 101. Any articles or videos mentioned can be found on my website at Intergalactic Herald. Just look for news recap number 149. So just a quick summary of things to go over today. Pretty much the only kind of update from the Star Atlas team was the Atlas Brew, but it was a jam-packed one with a look ahead to things that they're hoping to come out this year, and then go over kind of my thoughts on the state of Star Atlas and my journey playing. But before I get to that, just a couple things about some of the projects I'm working on. First, I do have a Star Atlas pip, so if you're not familiar with those are proposals to use some of the DAO Star Atlas DAO treasury to create different community things. Happy to report that I have passed the first milestone or stage, whatever you want to call it, to get enough community feedback to move on to the actual drafting phase. So it's great news. Again, appreciate any comments. If you check out the Star Atlas Discord, go to the DAO section, either in pip ideas or don't know what the next one's called yet, but it's assuming something to do with the word draft. But I want to make a special call out to community member Falcor. He helped me get over the last bit there. I really appreciate the repost on Twitter X promoting my tweet that was there talking about my platform. So I really appreciate that sharing of information out there. I do have two other projects I'm working on. One is my Star Atlas merch store that's at intergalacticgear.com, open for business, selling mugs, and slowly rolling out what I'm going to call wall art, in the sense that I'm using the Star Atlas original posters, the Rebirth posters, and a few other of the images to translate those images to physical wall art. So there'll be different materials you can have those printed on, from canvassed, frame canvassed, photo paper, frame photo paper, and then a metal print. And so I'll be slowly, because it takes a lot of time to build each one of those, create descriptions, rolling that out. So not fully available yet, but starting with some of the first poster that came out, the Discovery of Iris. So that one exists in all 5 of those mediums. Different sizes are available, obviously different pricing and things like that. So if you're interested in maybe getting some Star Atlas imagery to put on your walls, please do check that out at intergalacticgear.com. And of course, if you want a Star Atlas mug, also have some of those available too. And then the last project on the slow burner, anyways, is a Star Atlas gaming community. So a place to hang out if you're not involved with a guild, or you're not interested in the Star Atlas Discord because it's much more about chatting, trying to get together enough people to create a new community platform that's more about threaded discussions. You can get email alerts when there's updates. You don't have to always check it. You can kind of be alerted when there is. So please go to intergalacticcoalition.com, and there's an interest survey there. I'd love to get enough people who think that'd be something they'd like to hang out in, and then I can go ahead and start building that platform. Part of the reason it doesn't exist yet is the platform does have a cost, and there will be a small fee to join to help offset that cost. So again, got to get enough interest first. So again, go to intergalacticcoalition.com if you're interested in that. So like I kind of alluded to, there's pretty much just one event this past week to communicate. It was the Atlas Brew. AFIA did have their weekly newsletter, but kind of the U got quiet this week. I did make sure that wasn't a personal conversation, but yeah, I think Beyond the Horizon was actually sick. Yeah, I think he tweeted about that. So he wasn't able to make something. So, but on the other hand, kind of not really sure what was going on the last week. So, but the Atlas Brew was a great update. A couple of things they always do at the beginning, noteworthy news section. One that they are finally closing the Never Alone campaign, the Zilly campaign. So all the quests are now removed, and you can check. I think if you go to can't remember which Discord channel, there's a way to check to see which of the rewards, memories, I don't know, it's been a while. Anyways, check out the Discord. You can get all the exact information there. They also mentioned, I think it might be occurring now, I'm recording this on Saturday, that there's kind of a community-led surge play session where everybody's just kind of getting together to play. Nothing official from the team, not using any of the multiplayer. Oh, I mean, I shouldn't say multiplayer. The centralized multiplayer, it's more of people are individually hosting. So there was a event posted about that, but by the time you listen to this, it'll be over. So, and then the other thing they mentioned was a change to the Foundation room. So in the past, that had been an exclusive, you had certain criteria to get in, and you weren't supposed to show it's there. But now you can't ask questions unless you meet those criteria. But the rest of the channel is now in a read-only status. So if you want to read along with what's going on there, that now exists. So, but the bulk of the Star Atlas Brew was the community team talking about the look ahead. So again, if you wanted to kind of get a great roundup of everything that has been kind of mentioned the last few months from the Star Atlas team, do check out Star Atlas TV. Again, there's a link on my website, intergalactichero.com, news recap number 149, and you can find a link for that, or just search for Star Atlas TV on YouTube, and you'll get the recording that he does of the Atlas Brew. So it's great. So just a few things I wrote down, and I'll kind of go into them in kind of my next section. But fleet rentals, patch coming soon for the UE5 version, dedicated multiplayer server support coming. There will be a community week this year talking about doing more hackathons, changes to Sage, and then changes to the Atlas Locker. So again, if you want all the details, or I shouldn't say the details, but all the things, and there's a few things I didn't write down because I don't know, just didn't write them down, but this was more of a list for me to remember to talk about. So anyways, so check that out. And again, that was kind of it, but again, there was a lot there. And so I thought what I would do for my kind of State of Star Atlas, since we are in the new year, and so everybody's kind of looking ahead to things coming. Obviously, that was the topic of the Atlas Brew. Thought I would just give you some of the thoughts on different things that I thought about. So first, just listing all that and what was also mentioned on the Atlas Brew. Yeah, it does look really promising for possible releases that are coming out. Given that myself and Beyond the Horizon did the year in review, and again, there was some slow periods and things like that, I think this is a great goal, and we'll see if it comes true. Now, the team, of course, knows where they're actually at on all this stuff, so they probably know more likely what's higher probability and lower probability. But again, as an outsider, we just have to take it on. Hey, here's some things. But a couple of things that stood out again on those is the fleet rental thing. And they kind of were given a little more information on that, and had been mentioned, the primary idea is that so someone with a larger fleet who doesn't have the time can rent it out to someone else who has the time, but not as much money to buy the fleet. And then they, of course, use it. And then that's where it's kind of a win-win mutual thing. And I assume the using it would be in Sage, because, again, we don't have the UE5 fleet command yet. So I'm, again, thinking this is a Sage thing. But one of the things they mentioned, first time I had heard that concept, was it also could help whales who want to rent more ships instead of purchasing them. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. So again, and they did show some of that at the town hall in December. So again, this one does feel like further along. I'm kind of torn between, is this kind of like local markets where it really changes a lot of things, or this is great for some people but not great for others. And I guess the part is the details aren't there yet. And again, that's perfectly fine, but it's like, well, what are the fees to rent? I mean, can you actually make back the money you put in as a rentee, or renter, rental? Not sure what the terms are yet. But anyways, so again, I think there's just a lot there. But again, many people in Discord have been mentioning that, yeah, this is what we need and things like that. So I just don't understand it yet, but that's okay. But the other thing I was realizing is those scenarios sound interesting, but are there enough fleets? Do enough people have ships that are even engaged anymore that would want to do that? So again, they obviously know more, and the team, that knows how many ships are in different places. I do remember mentioning a long time ago that once fleet rentals come out, the faction fleet, the score, that'll disappear. So again, that might encourage people like myself who have been just getting Atlas there to say, okay, fine, I guess I got to go and use my ships in Sage, whether myself or through fleet rental. So again, it kind of all feels right. But again, just ready for more details and things like that. UE5, definitely looking forward to the patch, only because I decided not to spend any time on the current version because they admitted that they wanted to fix some things. So hopefully this next patch will kind of smooth out any of those rough initial things. But hopefully this isn't the last patch of the year. And again, they never said it was, but again, last year we basically got one version the entire year. So hopefully this is a sign of continual development that we're seeing things. The dedicated multiplayer server is definitely something that you don't have to host yourself. I'm not even sure. I haven't done multiplayer in a long time, but in the olden days, you'd have to change things in your firewall and stuff like that. So when the companies did their own servers, then that became much easier, and there was always a game you could jump into at any time. You didn't have to coordinate with other people. So definitely I think something that would be really welcome to see, even if it is just the traditional metagravity, where it's tens of thousands of people. I mean, even a few hundred or dozens would be great. Awesome on all the other kind of community things. So Community Week with the awards and things like that. That's awesome. Hackathons, that's great. So again, all feels good there. Sage didn't even write anything down, but again, they've been developing that. So I would be really surprised if that doesn't continue seeing improvements. So, and then the one that I haven't been following because it's, partly because a lot of it was in the foundation room, but the changes to the Atlas Locker, but was mentioned at the last town hall that they're going to be amending, I think, the white paper and the economy paper to have something new. So again, I think that sounds great. Good moving forward changes. Yeah, all this sounds really good. So yeah, I mean, overall, it's a very impressive roadmap of things. And again, you would expect the team would start the new year with a lot of goals and a lot of things. And again, some of these are repeating things they did last year. I forgot that they mentioned different events like a point they'd be going to. I just didn't write it down because it's in a place I can't justify flying to. So, but again, just the fact that they're doing those kind of things and repeating and becoming consistent with them, I mean, that's all great news. So yeah, looks promising. Like I said, again, we'll always see about execution. But again, actually, now that I think about it, this would be a great thing to use in a year in review. Go back and hear what was actually mentioned and see how many things actually came through in the year ahead. But anyways, yeah, so that's pretty much it. Moving to my last segment, my journey. Again, I'm still playing Sage, trying to get my Mamba X. Currently trying to move all the carbon I mined back to the Central Space Station. However, with all the Solana issues, I am running with actually no priority fees because I was valuing time over cost, in this case, cost of Solana fees. That apparently is hurting me. I've been kind of following in the Sly Assistant Discord, and people have been having to ratchet that up to really, really high numbers. Now, I'm not even sure because there's something called, I can't remember, LAMP ports. I don't know all the blockchain stuff, let alone priority fee terminology and functions. But a lot of the people are talking about they have to go really high just to get anything to go through. And so maybe unless I was willing to pay that, I wouldn't get anything moving forward anyways, but it sure feels like my movement of carbon back is incredibly slow. Some does move every day, so I guess making progress. My soul isn't dwindling. Well, it seems like it's decreasing at a reasonable rate for actions performed. So anyways, that sounds good. Again, as I mentioned, I do need to find time to research the idea of selling it at that local market. Again, it just hasn't been made a priority, kind of work on some of the other things. So anyways, still plunking along. The other computer over here is doing what it's supposed to do. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. Yeah. So again, always interested if anybody wants to come on the podcast chat. I'm looking for guests. Could either be talk about the week in review. Love if you want to talk about if you're a content creator or a builder, what you're working on. Obviously love to have any team members that just want to talk about kind of beginner topics for Star Atlas. No need to disclose new stuff or anything like that. Just kind of talking about things in general. And again, do have my merch store open. So intergalacticgear.com, some mugs, more art, wall art coming. And again, if you're interested in joining a gaming community of Star Atlas gamers who aren't members of guilds and would rather have kind of more of a threaded discussion alerts when there, please check out intergalacticcoalition.com. And that's pretty much it for the week in review. Hope you have a great week ahead. This is Matt with the Intergalactic Herald.